Salutations, you little punk. So you want to know how to plan outfits like a pro? You've come to the right place. You've come to a place. Truth be told, up until now, I've never really planned any of my outfits to varying degrees of success. Even these old how-to style videos from 2016 to 2019 were all planned like on the day, off the cuff. I used to just throw stuff together that was already in my wardrobe. It was absolute chaos, like how have you not noticed? So it has officially taken 5 years and a lockdown for me to actually look at my process, or lack thereof, and see how I can improve moving forward. So here is my optimized, probably over the top process of planning outfits like a pro. Inspiration. Fashion inspiration is a topic that I have beaten to death, but I just want to hammer this one down because it's always been the starting point to finding a style, building an outfit, and molding your own ideas out of. I don't really think about this too much. I literally just go through Instagram pages that I generally like the feel of and just aimlessly drift through social media and save stuff that sparks my interest. I have a few fashion books that I refer back to, like when I want to cleanse my palette, but really it's just Instagram at the moment where I'm getting most of my inspiration from. I don't know what to tell you, it's that algorithm, bro. So while browsing, I tend to save pretty much anything that sparks my interest. It doesn't even necessarily have to be fashion based. It can be art, anime. I like how it gets its own category, anime, outfits, pieces, just general aesthetics. And after a while, my saved feed fills up and I end up having a folder of random pictures from various sources and an aesthetic starts to form. Now, in the before times, this is where I would generally stop and say, cool, this is good enough. This is practically a mood board. But really, in hindsight, that's just a jumbled collection of photos that you like. It hasn't got any real direction. So organizing and curating these posts is the logical next step. Curated mood board. So there are many ways to curate and present a mood board. You can just have them in different saved folders, in an Instagram feed, Pinterest, Tumblr, LinkedIn, whatever. Or if you have access to something like Graphic or Photoshop, then you can make a nice collage. Now, there are so many ways you can curate a mood board, so I won't go into this too much because really it's down to you. Some really basic categories you could go for could be like color, aesthetics, themed, era, just anything to get it a little bit more organized. But let's just talk about collages for a second. You scrapbookers are onto something here. A collage mood board just has so much more impact than something like a grid mood board. I don't know what it is. I just like the idea of blending images together. I would totally recommend making more than one mood board. In fact, I would go so far as to say make loads of mini mood boards. Just something you can refer back to when you're putting pieces together. Kind of like index cards, but instead of contact information, it's just a collage of streetwear kids and Nike Dunks. I generally don't make these index cards too big. I would say a good balance is around 5 to 10 photos, but it entirely depends on what your own mood board calls for. But for me, I use smaller ones because I think it's clear, it's straight to the point, and it's just a pure concentrated aesthetic that's easy to focus on when you're manifesting a look. Mood boards. Saved items. A shop tagger sponsor plug would have been perfect here, but we move. When I go aimlessly scrolling through Instagram, I periodically switch from Instagram pictures to clothing websites. I'm on Instagram, I'm on a vintage fashion page. What? Princess Diana in an Eagles jacket? Spend the rest of the day on Depop looking at vintage varsity jackets. You see how it goes. When I look at clothing websites, I screenshot every piece that I would consider buying or have a general good first impression of. This is really handy for putting into mood boards as well, but it's more for R&D purposes. I'm noting down the brands, the designers, the pieces. Just absorb all of that information into your head like a sponge. And from here, it doesn't take long to build up a Windows shopping list and a camera roll full of screenshots of pieces you'd like to buy. So the next logical step is gathering pieces. This is the fun part where you decide between paying rent or buying the jacket you like that's in the far-fetched sale. This is where I used to lose my way a bit. Like, I would just blindly buy pieces that look great on their own and at the time was a good idea, but now that I've got them in hand, I've realized I have no idea what I'm gonna do with this. I cannot visualize an outfit at all. It was just an impulse buy. Shame on you. See, this is where your curated mood board would have come in. If you're thinking about investing in a piece, it might be an idea to at least have an idea of how you're gonna style it before you even think of making that big boy purchase. Like, I don't want to deep this section too much, but I would like to give some tips that might help you when you're gathering pieces. One would be to shop around and compare websites before you make a purchase. For example, I got that Comme des Garçons bag from Mr. Porter during their sale. It was something like £200-ish, but while I was browsing different websites, I found the same bag for less, like £170. Say no more, it vexes me just thinking about it. On a little side note as well, influencers, when they do sponsored videos, sometimes have a discount code for their viewers, so it's worth seeing what influencers are saying. I would also suggest downloading Honey. It's this browser extension where they look for discount codes when you're at checkout at most websites, I think. Not sponsored, but they owe me one now. If you're looking for something out of season, sold out, or something from an archive collection, then look for marketplaces like Grailed, Depop and eBay. Sometimes Instagram as well if you can find the right reseller pages. And lastly, if you're broke boys mafia, consider selling old pieces you don't wear anymore and purposefully keep the stonks aside to pump back into your spending budget. Fitting. So this is where it all comes together. This is the big moment. All of that over-the-top research, curating, and hunter-gathering of pieces comes down to this. Fitting isn't anything new. It's literally just trying on clothes in the mirror and seeing how they look. No need to deep it too much. Why are we even talking about this? Because we are going to stand in front of the mirror and try various combinations of these pieces and document each and every one by taking photos. Now, I'm not talking Instagram worthy fit pics, so to speak. These are just reference photos to show you how the outfit looks when you put it all together. I got the idea of documenting your outfits from Wisdom. Like, he is very open about his process, and he said that he can dedicate hours in a day into just putting outfits together, trying them out, seeing how they look, and end up having something like 80 pictures in one session, which I think is a great way to plan your outfits. Like, it might sound a little over the top, but when you think about it, it's a great way to keep on top of your outfits, especially if you want to grow a fashion Instagram page or just schedule the drip. And that was how to plan an outfit like a pro. Now, it might seem a bit extra to go through all of that just to put jeans and a t-shirt on, but personally, I think it's a solid system to guiding an idea in your head, seeing it all the way to execution, and to stay on track with your original vision. I think the idea here is just to be as involved in the process as possible and not letting the ideas in your head just run without any direction. I mean, don't get me wrong, everyone is different, and if you work better by just doing your own thing, that's fine too. But I think for me, planning pays off a lot more than just haphazardly winging it. If you found this video somewhat useful in any shape, way or form, then let me know in the comment section below. Also, have you got any tips for putting outfits together? Share the knowledge, big man, don't be stingy. Share this video with your swagless homies so you can get a good squad pick for once. Like this video because you're an absolute legend, or dislike this video because you are the swagless homie. Subscribe to the channel, I really appreciate it. Put on them notifications. And that's where I'm gonna end today's video. Bye. Why is he telling us how to plan an outfit? He dresses like trash.